Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to do 9 pair of easy Christmas earrings. Now this is part 1. I will actually have a part 2 to this video with 9 more pair of easy Christmas earrings, but I figured that 18 pair in one video would be too much for any of us to digest, so we're going to do 9 here and then 9 in a part 2. But first, our encouraging word for today is Proverbs 11:25. A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. So if you do nice things for other people, it does give you a refreshing feeling. I have found that to be true. Alrighty. So 9 pair of little earrings, and we're just going to start and we're going to go through each one one by one, okay? So I'm not going to give you like a supply list for this whole thing because that would be overwhelming. We're just going to do them one at a time. These little containers, before somebody asks me, come from the Dollar Tree. They are in the catering section, and you get like 8 for $1. Okay, alrighty, so the first pair we're going to make is this one. And I think it is super cute, super easy, okay? So what you're going to need if you want to make this, you're going to need a charm of some sort, and I'm using this Snowflake charm right here. You're going to need a bead frame. These are available on my website. I will link that in the description box below. You're going to need a couple of, these are 8mm little seed beads, 8.0 seed beads, not 8mm. And this is, let's see here, I'm going to measure in centimeters. Heidi Blankenship made this bead, and it is 5 centimeters, which is in millimeters. I'm not sure how that translates into millimeters, actually. I did know that at one point, but for some reason I can't think of it at this, at this second. But actually it's 0.5 centimeters, so it would be 5 millimeters. That's how that works. Sorry. 0.5 centimeters, 5 millimeters. There we go. All right. And then we've got a 6mm bicone here. We have an eye pin, and this eye pin's kind of long. You're going to need kind of a long eye pin. And this one is 2 inches. And I have a fish hook ear wire. Okay, so this is super simple. All we're going to do is we're going to insert our eye pin into our bead frame. We're going to take one of our 8.0 seed beads and put it on. We're going to take this beautiful bead that Heidi made. It is a handmade polymer clay bead, and I will link Heidi's information. She's getting ready to have a sale coming up, so I think it's like this weekend, so you guys don't want to miss that. It's pretty awesome. We're going to put the other seed bead, and then we're just going to pull this eye pin down so we can get it through the other hole on the bead frame. And if you can see, it makes a beautiful little beaded component. We are going to put our bicone on top, and then we're just going to make a loop. So did I wrap that loop? No, I did not. Okay, so we're going to bend this 90 degrees. We are going to cut it right here. Okay, we're going to use our round nose pliers and roll back a loop. Just like this. Okay, and then we're going to take our little snowflake, and this snowflake is double-sided. Not that it matters because this is going to spin, but I just want to make sure that I try to get it hooked on like I have it on there. So I'm just going to open this up right here, this little loop. Going to put my snowflake on, close it up, and then we're just going to put our ear wire on. So super, super simple, quick and easy. What a great little gift this would make for somebody. And I'm going to make sure that this little loop right here is closed up because it's not. Come on now. It's wanting to spin on me. There we go. All right, so there is our really cute little pair of polymer clay and metal earrings. And we've got our little snowflake flipped over there. So there they are. I love these. They're so quick and easy to make. Okay, here is another one that's going to be quick and easy. These are all fairly quick and easy. So we're going to do this earring right here. Now these beads are available at Joann's, and actually they're on sale 3 for $10 right now, I believe. But you can use any bead that you have, but I believe this is, hold on, let me pull out my mat. It's going to help me, just one second. Okay, so I switched to my Beadsmith mat because it has the measurements for beads on here. So this is a 16 millimeter bead, and we're going to use an 8 millimeter bicone, and should be 2 4 millimeter bicones. Am I missing a 4 millimeter bicone? I might be. Huh, I had all this stuff together earlier, and I'm missing a 4 millimeter bicone. Let me grab one. Okay, here I am thinking I'm so organized, and I'm not. So 16 millimeter bead, 8 millimeter bicone, 2 4 millimeter bicones, this little bow bead right here. Now, I used to have these for sale on my website. I don't think I have any anymore, but you can get them places online if you look on Amazon, I'm sure. A 2-inch head pin and a fishhook ear wire. Okay, super simple. Again, we're going to put our little 4 millimeter bicone on, our big bead, our 4 millimeter bicone, our bow, and our 8 millimeter bicone. Okay, and then we're just going to bend this at 90 degrees. We are going to cut this off and roll a loop back. Okay, go ahead and open up your fishhook ear wire or whatever ear wire you're using, and make sure that you get your, I always have a problem with leaving those loops open just a little bit, and then just close it right up. Now here's a trick for if your things aren't hanging correctly. This one is, but if it wasn't, I could grab a hold of this fishhook ear wire the way that I want it to hang. Then I would grab my wire here and I would turn it to where I want it to be. Okay, but it's hanging just fine. So here is another really cute pair. These are so, I think they're unique. Really, really cute. So here's another one. Love these. There they are. Okay, so that's earring pair number 2. Number 3 is super simple. We're going to make this beautiful little angel. Now, I do have these wings on my website. I've got these wings, and then I have a rose gold wing that's a little bit bigger. But this is a really easy little angel to make. So you're going to need a, this is kind of like a, I don't know what you would call this, a cone bead, I guess. But these are easy to find. I think Michael's has them, Hobby Lobby has them, different places. So just get yourself some cone beads. I have some white ones or clear ones on my website. This is a little miracle bead in 6 millimeter. I got these from Amazon. I've got a 2-inch head pin, a little 6 millimeter rondelle rhinestone spacer, the little pair of wings, and this is 12 millimeter, and a fishhook ear wire. Okay, so I'm just going to take and I'm going to put my cone bead on with the big part at the bottom. I am going to put my wings on, and I'm making sure that my wings are pointed down. You could put them on the other way, but then they would look like this, pointed up. So I'm just pointing them down just because I think that looks more angelic. I don't know. And then we're going to put our miracle bead on and our little rhinestone spacer. And we're going to make a 90-degree bend here. We are going to go ahead and trim this off. And I'm going to roll back a loop. Just like this. Make sure it's closed up really good. And I'm going to put my fishhook ear wire on. And here is our cute little angel. Okay, So there is so much variety with these. I'm actually going to make up some kits to have for sale on my website using these, but you can use so many different things. But yeah, there's our sweet little angel, and I really like these. I think they turned out super cute. Okay, next we're going to make a candy cane. So here it is. Here's our candy cane earring. Got my little dangle kind of, there we go, it's hanging better. Whoops. Why is he wanting to do that? Flip around there, dude. There we go. So there's our little candy cane. For this, we're going to use some 18 gauge wire. So here's my, whoops, 18 gauge. It's just regular artistic wire. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 red bicones, 4mm bicones, 3 green, and 4, these are 4mm, these are like 3.5, almost 4. They're just kind of a little bit smaller than these for some reason. But anyway, 4 of those. And then I've got my fish hook. I have a ball head pin. I have a little tiny jump ring, and I have my wire, and I have this cut at like, I don't know, 7 inches, 8 inches, just because I need extra. Usually I'm really bad about not having enough wire when I do this, so you just want to make sure you have a big enough piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, these are my crimping pliers because they have a very, very tiny fine end on them. Let me stack up some of these trays. I've got trays going everywhere. Okay, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to make a loop. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to load on all my beads. So just like this is, I'm going to put the white one on. Okay, the red one. And I'm sorry if you can hear Chris. He's on the phone for work and he talks so loud. He's not yelling at anybody. He's just loud. Okay. And I did red and green back to back here just for the fun of it. I don't know. You don't have to do that. And I'm missing a white bicone. What is the deal with me today? Okay. So let's get this white one on here. Then another red. I'm going to have to grab a white bicone. I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm going to blame Heidi for my, the fact that I'm totally like not having half of what I need out here because I was on the phone with her when I was trying to get all this ready. So that's it. It's her fault. All right. So here we have it. Now we're going to take this and we're going to cut it off. First of all, we don't need near this much wire now. Leave a little room. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my pliers again, and I'm just going to make a little loop on the end here. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to bend it over. And I want to bend it to where it's the same as this one. So let me get that out of the way. So I'm just kind of going to hang it here, lay it here, and just kind of bend like right about here, I think. And be careful because your bicones will crack if you're not, you know, if you bend too tightly or too quickly. So just be gentle when you do this, okay? So here it is. Trying to make sure that it's the same. It is. And then I'm going to take my jump ring. And my jump ring's going in between my red and my white bicone right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go right here with my jump ring. And this is a 4mm jump ring, so it's small enough that it will stay between these two beads and not float around. You want to use kind of a small one because of that reason. I'm going to put my ear wire on. Now I want this one to hang this way because I want them mirrored. So I'm just going to put my ear wire right on my jump ring here. Whoops. Okay, just like this. Close it up. Now you have to look at how this is hanging. So this needs to turn just a little. So I'm just going to take it and turn it just a little. And I want it to hang the right way. So I'm going to keep turning until I have my candy cane hanging. When I put this ear wire in my ear, the candy cane is going to be hanging straight ahead. Okay, so I have it this way, and then this one, did I make them both the same direction? I did. Okay, let me take this off and fix it. I should have picked the other one up before I did this. I need it to hang that way. So let's put it back on. With the ear wire, with the candy cane hanging the correct direction. See, it's things like this that I do, and I do them all day long. I can't edit my life, but you know, I could edit my video, but then, you know, you guys wouldn't see that I do this stuff all day long, so it's pretty important for us to realize that we're all human. And now this human is having a terrible time getting this back on here. There we go. My word. Okay, close it up. Okay, and I'm going to have to flip it. There we go. So you can bend those ear wires however you want them to go. Just turn them. If you need it to go the other way, turn it the other way. But it won't hurt anything for you to bend it around a little bit. Okay, so here we have that one going that way, we have this one going this way, and we're going to make our little dangle. So we're just going to take this little bicone, put it on our wrapped, or our little ball head pin, and we're going to make a wrapped loop. Okay, I'm going up, over, and around, and then I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to wrap a few times, just so that it is secure. Okay, just like that. I'm going to trim it off, and I'm just going to open my loop here and hang it right on the end of my little candy cane. Okay, close this back up. And I didn't say, but you really wanted to make these, you really want to make these loops on the end as small as you can, because you don't want them to be super noticeable. And there we have it. We have a candy cane going that way and a candy cane going this way. Really cute little candy canes, I think. I like these. You could even do these in different colors. You could do them in blues, you could do them in whatever, but there they are. Really cute and simple. Okay, our next one is really cool. I got this idea off Pinterest. So we're going to be making this tree right here using a piece of filigree. Now, this filigree is available on my website. If you want it, it's there. But I thought this turned out super pretty. We've got this little tiny bead cap that looks like a basket. I have a small drop, little red drop bead, and this is drilled through the middle, not briolette drilled. I have a large drop. Let me see how many millimeters this drop is. Use my handy dandy. Oh, this is centimeters too. Why is everything in centimeters? Okay. So it's 3 centimeters, so 30 millimeter. So 30 millimeter little teardrop bead, again, drilled top to bottom. I have a little star charm. I have my fishhook ear wire, and I have a 2-inch head pin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bead cap and put it on facing up. Then I'm going to take my little drop bead and put it on with the bigger end down into the bead cap. Okay, I'm going to insert this in the middle of my filigree piece and put my big teardrop bead on. And then, oh, you're going to need a jump ring too for this, and it needs to be a fairly large jump ring. Let me grab one out, another one out. So like an 8 millimeter, is that about what I have there? 8 or 10 millimeter jump ring for this, okay? And the reason for that is you're going to have to grab both pieces of filigree and your loop that you're going to make here. So you go ahead and put this on. Now make sure that your bead is down onto your, this is tight down here is what I mean. Make sure there's not a bunch of wiggle room in there, you know, that you're holding that with your finger. Bend this at 90 degrees. Okay, go ahead and roll a loop back and make it a fairly, you want it to be a fairly large loop. Okay, just like this. Make sure it's closed up. I'm going to turn this sideways, just like facing this way. It's not closed up, is it? Okay, and then we're going to take our filigree and we're just going to bend it up around the bead. And you want to bend it to where the holes in the top here line up. See those two holes? They're lining up. Then we're going to take our jump ring. Now this can be a little fiddly, so just work with it. You want to stick it through the first hole. You want to go through this bead or this loop right here. And you want to go through the back hole. And you may have to use your fingers. I found that it's a little bit easier sometimes than my pliers just to use my fingers for this, because I can kind of make it go the way I need it to go. Sometimes it's easier to use my pliers. And you just want it to go through that last, I'm sorry, I'm like not even on screen. Okay, you want it to go through that last hole. So here's what you've got. You've got your jump ring going through this hole, going through your loop here, and going through the back hole. Okay, and I'm just going to close the jump ring. Okay, just like that. There it is. And I think I have two different jump rings, but they're the same size. All right, so now we're going to take our little star here, and we're going to hang it right here on our ear wire. And then I'm going to open this back up. You could have done it before you closed it, but I just didn't do it. And I'm just going to put my star right on there and close this back up. Okay, and there is a really unique and cute pair of earrings using filigree. Aren't those adorable? You could use any bead you wanted inside there, anything you wanted, and I just take it and kind of flatten it out just a little around the bead. But I love these. I think these make such pretty little earrings. And they're a little bit bigger than most people would want. You could always use smaller filigree, I guess. But yeah, love them. All right, that is that's pair number 5. Pair number 6, we're going to do some little hoops. We are going to make some really cute little hoops with a snowflake in the middle. Okay. So for this, you're going to need a snowflake charm of your choice. You're going to need a hoop, and these hoops, let me measure this hoop. And you can get these on Amazon. I do not have these on my website. I don't have the hoops on my website. This is about close to a 1.5 inch. Just below, well, no, not even, no, I'm sorry. It's about 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so 1 3/4 inches right there. And let's see, that's not right. Not 1 3/4 inches. Yeah, about 30 centimeter, or 3 centimeters, so about 30 millimeters. So just, I don't know, a little bit over 1 inch. 30 millimeter hoop right here. Okay, I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to start threading on my bicones. Now I want to do them the same as I did here, so I'm starting with white. Scoot that up just a little bit. Starting with white. And I'm just going to alternate blue and white all the way to the end. And these are Swarovski Aquamarine AB 4 millimeter. These are all 4 millimeter bicones. And that's a white opal AB in the 4 millimeter. And I'm just alternating blue and white. Okay, just keep going. Make sure you push them all the way down so that they're not showing wire. Okay, so we've got it all on here. Now I'm going to take this wire and insert it in here, and I'm going to take my pliers and actually, yeah, I probably will use these. I'm going to take my pliers and go between a couple of these down here, and I just want to make sure that this is inserted in here to where I want it to stick out this other end a little bit. Can you see it coming out right there? And I need it to come out right there even more. And the last one, the other one that I did, had a little bit more room. So let me get it up there. Okay, so it's coming out here. Now, I'm going to try to grab it with my plier. And if I can grab that, you can take your finger and try to hold it in there too. It's kind of hard to do. But you need to try to grab this little piece of wire. Okay, I've got a hold of it with my plier here. No, I don't. Let me stick it back in there. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know you're supposed to be able to put these in here and crimp them, but they always come open. I hate this. I hate these. They don't crimp. They just don't crimp down tight enough. So I do it like this. I take this wire, and it's very, very fiddly and hard to do at first, but you can get it in here. I insert it in here, try to hold it, and then grab it with my crimping plier, which has a really small end on it. And when I do that, if I can get a hold of it here, I'm going to bend it up. It's really, really difficult to get enough of this wire showing. I didn't have as much trouble on my last one. This one must be a little bit shorter. Okay, if you see, it is sticking out right there. Now, if I can hold it with my finger and grab this little piece of wire, got it. Now I'm going to bend this little piece of wire either up or down, whichever way I can. I bent it up, and that will keep this from coming out, from just sliding right out, which is what it usually does. I always have trouble with them sliding out on me, so I'm just trying to make sure that it's in there, and I can grab it and bend it up just a little bit. There we go. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's bent up right there. And then you can take your plier and you can still try to crimp it down, but that's going to keep it from just sliding out, because I've made so many pairs of these earrings and that little piece just slides out, and it's very annoying. You're supposed to be able just to crimp it down, and in doing that I kind of messed up my loop. So let me move it back down here if I can to hang my snowflake on. Flatten my loop back out. Yeah, I messed it up. All right, there it is. Okay, so then we're just going to take our snowflake. We are going to put it on our little teeny tiny jump ring. This is like a 3mm jump ring. I'm just going to put it right through here. And hang it right through that loop. Okay. Grab a hold of it with my pliers and close it right up. Make sure you get it closed really good, because it will come right out if you don't. Okay, there it is. Ah, my little thing came open. See, that's what I'm talking about. This thing just absolutely, they do not stay closed. And I crimped that one down too and bent it up. Let me try bending it up again. Apparently I didn't get it bent up good enough. This one I did. So that one's bent up quite a bit. This one doesn't seem to have as much room for some reason on the wire as the other one did. I wonder if, I may even take off, no, I can't do that, because if I do that, it's not going to match. Okay, so let me try to get it through here again. I hate these. They just don't, they don't stay. not just crimping them, but if you can get it through there and bend it up, then it's gonna stay a little bit better. But it is super hard to do. Of course, I didn't have to I could have left a couple beads off, and that probably would have been the best thing to do, but I didn't do that. And if I can, I mean, it looks like there's plenty of wire. If I can just get it. Oh, I've lost a bicone, and that's why it looks like there's plenty of wire. Alright, well, I'm not going to frustrate you guys with this, but you get the general idea. Actually, it's that one that bent. I did bend the right one up. This is the other one. And I'm just going to put it in here and try to crimp it down. I just hate these. I don't think that they... If you can bend that up, you're good. If not, it's just really, really difficult to get these to work. Yeah, crimp it down. And hopefully it'll stay. Oh my word. Okay. The struggle, guys. The struggle. Okay, I'm going to put this snowflake right here on my hair wire, and there we have it. So these are really cute if you can get this to work, but man, it is a pain. But I think it's going to stay now. I crimped it down really good. But it kind of warps it too when you crimp it down that good. But now this one I didn't have to do that too. This one I put the wire through, bent it up, and it was fine. So it should stay, but the other one was a little bit more difficult. But anyway, you get the general idea. They are really cute if you can get them together. All right, so moving on. Let's move on. This one's really, really pretty. This is a Christmas tree. You can see this using some bead caps. So what you're going to need if you want to make this one is another of these little basket looking bead caps, an 8mm pearl, a 6mm pearl, and these are some little 6/0 seed beads. I save these from in between beads on strands to use as fillers in something like this, and you'll see here in just a second. I've got 2 of these filigree bead caps, and where'd my ruler go? And I will tell you how big they are. They are, they're right at about, let's see, 16mm or 16 centimeters. So yeah, really not huge, but a little bit big, and they're a cone kind of shape. So 16 centimeters. We've got a 2-inch head pin, a little
Mail has arrived.
Oh, the mail's here. 6mm star and a fishhook ear wire. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little basket and I'm going to put it on facing up, just like this. I'm going to put my 8mm pearl on. And now what I'm going to do is up in here, I need this to be, I need to put a couple of these little spacer beads so that this won't come right down over and cover up. See, like that? So I need to put one more. So I need 3 of these little spacer beads in there. Okay, just like that. And that's going to help it to show there. Then I'm going to put my 6mm pearl. Then I'm going to put my other bead cap. I am going to put my star on. I am going to bend this at 90 degrees. And cut this off. Just like this. Making sure I didn't do a wrap loop. I didn't. And then I'm just going to roll my loop back here. There we go. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my ear hook, ear wire, and I'm going to hang this right on here. And there you have a really adorable Christmas tree. Now, I like to take my pliers and bend these little edges of the bead cap up like this. So it looks a little more like, I don't know, branches or whatever you want to call it. Just like that. Okay? And you have 2 really cute little Christmas tree earrings. I love these. All right, so for our, let's see, that's our 7th one, I think. Our 8th one is super easy. We're going to make a little Santa hat. Okay, all you need is a 6 or 8 millimeter, I believe this is an 8 millimeter rhinestone rondelle spacer, a head pin, an ear wire, and these are some little cone, or these are called miracle beads. I actually got them on Amazon, and a little 4 millimeter bead on the top. Okay, these are about 8 millimeter tall. Okay, so I'm going to take my rhinestone rondelle spacer, then my little bead or cone, and then my little bead. And that's all there is to this, guys. That's it. You bend this 90 degrees, you cut this right off, and you have an adorable little earring that's a Santa hat. Okay, we're going to open our ear wire, stick this right on there, and close it right up. And there you have it. Really, really cute little Santa hat earrings. Okay, now for our last one, we're going to be making this Christmas tree. There are tons of different Christmas trees you can do with bead caps and beads and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to be making this Christmas tree here. So for this, you're going to need a cone bead. And this one is the same size as the one we used on the angel. Where'd my roller go? So it is approximately 16, 17 centimeters. Okay, and then we're going to be using a 2-inch head pin. We have a spacer bead, a 4 millimeter spacer. Again, I'm using a couple of these little spacer beads that are just in between other beads on the strand when you buy them, and I use these all the time to space things out, and I'm using one of those. I believe they're 6/6/0s. We have our bead cap, then we've got our cone bead, and then we've got this is a little daisy spacer. I have a 4 millimeter bicone. I have another little round spacer bead, flat spacer bead, and I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 4 millimeter fire polish beads. Okay, and I did have an ear wire, but not seeing that again. Here I am, still not being able to find everything I need. I'll steal one from something else. So there's an ear wire. And we've got some, this is 24 gauge wire, just artistic wire in gold. And I'm just going to cut off probably like a 10-inch piece of it just so I have enough. Okay, and this is super easy too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our spacer bead and put it on, this little round one. Then we're going to put our little junk seed bead spacer, and then our bead cap facing down. I'm going to put my cone bead on. I'm going to put my rondelle or daisy spacer. I'm going to put my bicone and my other little bead. Okay, and I'm going to make a loop here. So bend this at 90 degrees. Cut it right off here and roll this loop back. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to go right here below this daisy spacer, and I'm going to start wrapping. So I'm just going to go around 3 or 4 times to get it secured. And then I'm going to load on all of my fire polish beads. Okay, so 3. Oh my goodness, I just flipped them everywhere. Oh, this day, I'm telling you. I think it's my whole day's been like this. It really has. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, get on there. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, So I have all my fire polish beads on here, and I'm just going to take this and just wrap it around my cone bead till I get down to the bottom here, and I'm going to take the wire and just wrap it between my cone bead and my bead cap several times. And when I get around, I'm going to go through here. After I've gone around several times, I'm going through the underneath part there of that wire. And then I'm just going to cut this off, take my pliers, and just tuck it. So I can just tuck it right in here. Make sure that the top is tucked, and it is. And then I'm just going to put my little fishhook ear wire on. And there we have a really cute, festive little Christmas tree. You can bend this around some if you want, or however you want it to go. You can fix it. But I love this one. I think it's super cute. You could use all different color beads down it. You could do just about anything you wanted. So here are our 9, or I can't remember if we did 8 or 9. Here's our Christmas trees with our garland. We have our filigree Christmas trees. Okay, we have our little angel. We have our snowflake hoops that gave me extensive issues. There they are. We have our, let me see, am I zoomed out? Ooh, let's not zoom in. Okay, here we have our balls with our little bows on them. Right here. We have our little Santa hats. We have our bead cap Christmas trees. We have our candy cane, just like this, little candy cane, which kind of also gave me issues today. They actually go like that. Okay, we have our bead frame with snowflakes on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pair of really cute Christmas earrings. Pretty easy to make, except for the ones with the hoops. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. And when you subscribe, you have to ring the little bell. If you don't ring the bell, it's not going to tell you when I upload videos. And I will be doing a part 2 with 9 more pair of Christmas earrings. So if you're interested in that, make sure you ring the bell. And I will link my website in the description box below. It has these wing beads. I've got this filigree. I've got these bead frames, bead caps, just all kinds of stuff. So check that out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!